After the 2020 election, Donald Trump complained about voter fraud. And guess what? He's right. There was voter fraud. But that voter fraud was here in Florida, and it was committed by Republicans, and it's been proven. I'm Carter Krishnaiyer for the Florida Squeeze. Let's talk a little bit about a story I missed, even though we at the Florida Squeeze have been following this story very carefully. The reason I missed it is the conviction happened right in between Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, which had taken all my attention. But we had a conviction in the 2020 ghost candidate scandal, and it was of none other than former Republican state House member and state senator Frank Artiles from Dade County. Artiles, who had to resign from the state Senate in disgrace in 2017, by the way, was convicted by a Miami-Dade Circuit Court earlier this month, which is the latest piece of fallout from the ghost candidate scandal, where the Republicans were able to field ghost third-party candidates that influenced multiple elections across the state Senate in 2018 and 2020. There was a test case in 2018, which the Miami Herald reported on, that was very, very critical to them creating the context with which they could go ahead in 2020 and go full-blown. In 2018, according to the Herald, FPL, Florida Power and Light, which is one of the largest utility companies in the country and is based in Juno Beach in Palm Beach County, Florida, used a shadowy nonprofit group to bankroll a spoiler candidate who was a longtime Democrat but ran as an independent. And this was according to documents obtained by the Miami Herald in 2022. Now, this was obtained at a time that we already knew about what had happened in 2020 in multiple state Senate races. The race Artiles has been convicted of is the election in the Miami-Dade County Senate seat where Jose Javier Rodriguez, an incumbent Democratic state senator, progressive, a champion, someone who had taken on the utilities industry, particularly after Hurricane Irma, when FPL bumbled and stumbled around in trying to restore people's power. What Artiles did is he made payments. He was paid, and there were Democratic consultants involved in this. Also, it should be noted, and several Republican operatives. Artiles was paid, and then he paid a ghost candidate named Alex Rodriguez, who ran as a third-party candidate and took enough votes so that Elena Garcia, who was the founder of Latinas for Trump, in fact, she's the person who took Trump to Versailles, Cuban restaurant, right after he was arraigned in Miami on federal charges last summer in 2023. She wins by 32 votes over Jose Javier Rodriguez because this ghost candidate, Alex Rodriguez, had mail and he campaigned, even though he didn't even live in the district and he didn't actually campaign, but a campaign was funded for him by these GOP-aligned interests, which called him a progressive and talked about being the true progressive in the race. So he took away some progressive votes. Something very similar happened in an Orlando area race where Jason Broder beat Patricia Sigmund, and there was a ghost candidate there, which possibly cost Sigmund the election, and there had been Republican political operatives indicted in that and alleged to be involved in that. So Eric Fogelsang, who is someone that a lot of people in Central Florida know, included in that, as were some officials in the Seminole County Republican Party. So this is a major election fraud scandal that's happened here in Florida. The Republicans' mantra in Florida has been they can break rules, they can break laws, they'll weaken ethics commissions, they'll weaken enforcements, and if somebody does happen to get into trouble and go to jail, well, it doesn't matter because they've already taken the seat. And in the case of this one seat in Miami-Dade County, it was stolen. No two ways about it. So it is interesting that the GOP talks about, quote, stolen elections, when in fact, the one piece of evidence we have of a stolen election in 2020 was in Florida, and it was stolen by the Republicans, and it was a very elaborate operation to steal this seat. But we now have someone who has been convicted as a result in former state senator and state house member Frank Artiles.